I want to share a little bit about myself so that the folks out there who don't know me know where I'm coming from and why I'm doing these virtual tours. Again, my name is Mara Walsh. I'm in the United States and specifically between Philadelphia and New York. I started leading physical tours with EF Tours as a Girl Scout leader, taking girls and their families to international destinations every summer. I've since expanded my travel program. Now I lead adult-only tours. I use EF Go-Ahead Tours as well as several other organizations. I also offer family-friendly tours, which really include everybody from teens through senior citizens. And I am also a certified travel agent, and I can book you on a dream trip as part of a group or on your own. So if you're getting back to travel and you need some assistance, feel free to PM me or email me. In terms of the virtual tours, there's a couple of reasons why I started this series more than a year ago. I really wanted to support the tour director community during this time of travel restrictions where they have not been able to work. And I really wanted to keep the excitement of travel alive for my travel group and extend that opportunity to those of you who have learned about us through the tours that we've done through your friends, your family, social media, and other means. We've done more than 40 tours in the last year since COVID has struck, and we will consistently put them out there for you to enjoy. If you have missed any of them and you want to access any of the recordings, they're available in 3 ways. You can access them on my website, Girl Travel Tours. They're also on our Facebook page as well as our YouTube channel. We have several more tours planned for the coming year. All of them are listed on my website. I'm going to also share a list of the ones that we have coming up soon. We have Venice, we have Western Scotland, Jerusalem, Yellowstone, and Salzburg on the schedule. But we are also scheduling additional destinations for the fall, such as New England, Argentina, Northern Spain, the Eastern Bloc, Milan, Victoria Falls, and more are in the works. As long as you're interested in viewing these virtual tour presentations, we will continue to produce them for you. I know many of you found us on Facebook, and some of you are even on Facebook tonight, seeing this in the streamed format. So thank you for joining us. I do want to put out a warning. We still are getting a lot of scammers on Facebook who are trying to charge for our free virtual tours for entrance into the virtual tours. So please know that you should not be charged to enter a virtual tour presentation. It's up to you whether you want to tip after the presentation and put a tip in for the guide, but you should not be paying to enter a virtual tour, especially a girl travel virtual tour. So please, know that to keep yourself safe, just be smart and not click on any links in the chat, especially in Facebook, and don't give any money up front to enter something that you're unsure of. You can pay later after you've gotten the service, but please don't put any money up front. Okay, so before we get going, I want to share with you a few ways that you can interact with us. Feel free to use the Q&A on the toolbar to put questions in for the tour guide. Feel free to use the chat. If you want to just drop some point of interest to me, I will read it. But those things that are left in the chat are not going to be answered after the presentation, okay? Also, I always like to provide an interactive poll with the audience to kind of get an understanding and a sense of what their connection is with the destination. So I'm going to launch the poll now. And essentially this poll question is, what's your connection to the Taj Mahal or India in general? I've been and love it. I have a trip booked. I plan to go in the future. I have no set plans, but I'm interested in the location, or I am solely interested in experiencing this virtually. I'm going to give you a few seconds so that people can put their answers into the poll. You can also put it in the chat and Facebook if you're seeing us through the Facebook streaming. I'm going to give you a couple more seconds. It looks like, I'm going to end the poll. It looks like many of us, almost 50%, have no set plans, but are interested in the location. And There's about 12% or so that say they've been and loved it. I actually have it on my agenda to go in the future, so I can't wait myself. So we are going to stop sharing the poll. If you still see the results and it's in front of your screen, just click on the top left button and that will make it go away for you. Today's tour and all of our tours are scheduled for 90 minutes plus the Q&A. So I hope you're ready with a snack or a drink in hand and we can relax and enjoy the presentation. A tour wouldn't be complete without a fantastic tour guide. For most of us that work in group travel or participate in group travel, we understand the importance of a tour guide and the fact that they're able to share their knowledge and manage our travel plans and really give us an insight into the site or the location that we're experiencing. These are by far the most important people in a group. And as you can imagine, our tour guides and tour directors have not been working for more than a year now. So I'll share via the chat and the Q&A how you can tip the tour guide if you're so inclined. I'm hoping that this virtual tour will not only keep our desire to travel alive, but also gives us the possibility of traveling once again. Today, we're lucky to have with us a tour guide and ambassador for India, Imran Khan. He is super knowledgeable about the regions he presents, and he will soon be impressed. You will soon be impressed with his knowledge as well. So I'd like to bring on Imran. And if you're ready, Imran, you can turn on your camera again and your audio and join me. And then I'll turn over the screen to you so that you can start sharing your presentation. Are you available?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Welcome, Imran.
Hello, everybody. This is Imran and myself, Imran Khan, and I am the tour guide. And I've been doing from last 17 years from the city of love, which is Taj Mahal city. And this is one of the most important city in the history of the world. And this
Okay.
is from India.
All right. Will you share your screen so that we can see your presentation as well?
Yes, sure. Why not? Thank you for allowing me to do that. Yeah, this is how we are at the Taj Mahal. It's a virtual tour. We are really thankful to Mara allowing us to do this wonderful job again, as we were out of job from last 1 year, and we are dying to do the same thing again, which is in our blood, showing our country to the rest of the world and to the wonderful people, those who have a wish to visit this magnanimous monument of love. So this is a virtual tour dedicated to the Taj Mahal, but in the meantime, you also get the idea of Indian culture, our concepts, our religious practices, and our festivals as well. So this is the beginning of it. So what we are going to do is something very, very unique. And like what is the most important thing? That is the way we are living. And our way of living is very different because it's been like 4,000 years. The country, it is having an amazing culture. And that's the uniqueness of it, that the culture is still alive. You can find it in our lives, and that can be seen in all walks of our life. So this is how we welcome. So this is a salutation way, and this is a beautiful lady. It's basically a bride who, who is in a traditional dress, and this is how we welcome the people, those who come to our land. We consider the guests, those who are coming to us, like next to gods. That's why we salute them, we bow them in front, and we try to welcome them as much as possible. And this is the map of India, and this is how you can get the idea where India is located. We are in the southeastern part of the world, and here you can find this is close to Saudi Arabia, Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Nepal, and here India is. And we are surrounded by Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal. And here in the center of the country, there is a city called Agra. And Agra, it's an ancient city, and this is our national flag. It is called tricolor. It has three colors in it. The three different colors signifying three different things. Basically, the saffron color is for the courage, the white is for the peace, and the green for prosperity. The circle in the center and this wheel, this is for continuation. And it used to be the capital of Agra, this city. This fort of Agra used to be the capital seat of the empire which created Taj Mahal. And you can see this is a magnanimous monument, and this was the place from where they were ruling the entire country. And this used to be the parliament, and it was the parliament of that time. And in front of each column there would have been one noble standing, and now you can see people are visiting it. And it's also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. I would like to let you know that this city is so unique that it had the uniqueness that it was having three world class world heritage sites in it. One of them is none other than Taj Mahal, second is this fort, and we do have one more fort within the same city. Now, this is the present capital of, it's located in the present capital of India. This is the, Parliament of India, which was built by the British. And from here, the present country is being ruled. So I have put both the slides in front of you to give you a perfect contrast and to get you the perfect idea that how the parliament would have been like this earlier and how it looks now. And the present government, it is in the planning of creating another a new parliament, and our member of the parliament are going to enjoy that privilege again in the new parliament. And this is another building which is close to the parliament house, and these buildings were built during the British rule. India, it's having a history of around 4,000 years, and in that time period there were different parts, and in those different parts there were different periods, and some of them were ruled by the locals, but later this was ruled by the Mughals, those who came from Central Asia, and then we ruled almost for 200 years by the British, and we got independence in 1947. So now this I would like to bring into your notice. This is a unique building which is called uh, Golden Temple, which is located into the northern part of the country. This is dedicated to the youngest religion of the world, which is called Sikhism. You must have seen those people. You must have known many of them. Very generous, very kind people, helping poor and doing many charitable deeds in all over the world. They are the Sikhs, the people those who wear the turban. You can mostly find them in Canada, and their birthplace, the birthplace of this religion was India. The uniqueness of India is that it's the birthplace of many of the religion. But why I put this one over here for your information, because this is made out of gold. So this everything which you see all around it, this is gold. And there is a pool all around it, which is called Sar, and which is of elixir. It is called a sarovar, a pond of elixir. So in between of it, there is this beautiful temple. And this is a unique feature of India. This is an amazing like festival, which is a festival of colors. And this festival of colors, it's being celebrated in the month of, it is celebrated basically like an embarkment of for the end of the winter. So this is played through the colors. People throw colors on each other. And here you can see one of the beautiful building which is dedicating like dating back to the period of the before the British period. Also here you can see a different god, and it's one of the most unique god of Indian subcontinent, because it's Ganesha, an elephant headed god. It is a lord of prosperity. In India, you would very surprised knowing this fact that we have around 330 million god and goddesses. When I say 330 million, I mean it, because 330 million god and goddesses are too much. But out of those, only three of them are very famous. One of them is this one, Ganesha. Second one is the Lakshmi, which is the goddess of wealth, and the third one is of education, because people want prosperity and education and wealth. That's why these are the most famous ones. At the same time, You can see this is an amazing, picture taken at the time of this festival of color, which is called Holi. You can see people are throwing color on each other, and people are dancing, celebrating. People are kicking each other, and they are jumping here and there. Even younger or elderly, no matter who they are, you can see these are the elderly ladies, those who are wearing specs. But at the same time, they could not stop themselves, in falling in love with playing with the colors. Now, this is something very, very interesting. This is a drink which is specifically drink at the time of this festival so that people don't feel tired. It is basically made out of poppy seed, and here you can find the colors. So it is being offered to everybody, and then people, put colors on each other. And again, you can see how crowded it is. Even at the time of COVID last year, people, played Holi in the same way. Now, this is an amazing way of Indian culture. Here you can see this beautiful lady who is dressed up in a traditional wear, and she is having a beautiful brooch in her hand. And here you can see on her sari there is a beautiful workmanship. Why I specifically decided to choose this one, because the work you see here, when this work was started, so there used to be the gems on this embroidery. So this is a bit similar to the French brocades, but it is called zardozi. So they were using the real precious stones over here in place of those colorful stones. There must have been those precious stones. At the same time, you can find here this is again an Indian bridal dress, and you can find here this beautiful workmanship. This is again being done with the help of real gold. So at the time of the Mughal Empire, when the Mughals they were in the power, the people those who built the Taj Mahal, this kind of outfit was in fashion, and you can't even imagine that who would be their tailors. Their tailors were the jewelers because of the extensive use of the gold thread and also the gemstone which were used extensively. So only jewelers could have done this thing. So yes, the jewelers were their tailors. So imagine the power and the wealth the Mughals they must have been enjoying. And that was the time when India was called the golden bird. And this is a bridal dress. You can see this lady, she is having henna tattooing on her palms. So this color is so beautiful, beautiful designs and patterns. All the patterns are traditional. It is it's a bit similar to that, like tattooing, but it is different. This is henna, and it is said that the darker the color of the henna, it is believed that your consort, your husband, would fall in love with you. So that's why it's necessary to have, it darker. It's a funny fact, but this is true. Here again the beautiful designs. So whenever a wedding ceremony take place, so this kind of tattooing take place, like all among the girls of the family, and they do the tattooing and try to take pictures like this. And this is the typical bridal and groom dresses, and this is how they wear the turban, and they try to put a scarf like this. And the girls they are always in very heavy outfit. So now this is something very, very interesting. This is a hermit, and this is kind of a saint from Hinduism. This man, he is having covered with whole of his body with the ashes. The ashes are from the pyres. So, the residuals of the pyres, they apply all on their body. And these people, they are like the sages, they are the ascets, and they live, uh, you know, outside the human colonies, and they simply try to live in the graveyards or in the crematorium where they can do the like rituals which are forbidding. It's kind of a taboo, but these people considered very special because they come out into the into the open once in a year, which is called festival of Haridwar. So here you can see this thing, and this is a snake charmer. India once was called like the country of the snake charmer, but we proved it wrong to everybody that we are in the space, and we are having a largest army of the world, one of the largest army of the world, and we are having best of the scientists, those who are doing great job in the Western countries. And you can find this beautiful snake over here. This could have been black cobra, but their teeth, which are venomous, they are removed already. So that's why the people they have them, and there is a special festival and especially dedicated to the snakes, and that is called Nag Panchami. Nag, it's an Indian word which says Nag is like the snake, and Panchami is fifth. So that is the fifth day of the month dedicated to the snakes. So people offer milk, and they offer milk to the snakes, which is weird. They don't like to drink, but they keep them hungry for so long that they tend to drink it. Now, this is something very interesting. What you see in front of you, this is a coconut with the palm leaf around it, and this is a vase. So this vase is called vase of plenty. In Hinduism, before worshipping any idol, people use this kind of offering, and you know why it's very scientific, because the shelf life of these items is very, very long. That's why they offer this kind of item in offering to the deity. And these are some other items also which are used for offering. So this has sweets, fruits, garlands, and here the people sit and then they do the religious practices. And this is something very, very interesting which you can see. This is a traditional scene of the festival called Diwali, which is called the festival of lights as well. So people light different candles, and millions of candles they light on that particular day. So the whole country glitters. It is one of the biggest festival of the subcontinent. And again, you can see we worship this kind of God always, because this is for prosperity. So doing anything auspicious, people love worshiping and offering Ganesha whatever they can offer the best. And again, many a time they this like light up so many candles and fly them as well. So this is a scene also from the Golden Temple. And here again you can see people are throwing the colors on each other. Now we reach to our destination, which is the most important part of our discussion today and of our webinar. This is the railway station called Agra, Kent. It is very surprising. It was one of the major destination of the British Empire, and the location of this city is very important. That's why they made over here seven railway stations. So today we are going to talk about two: Agra Cantonment, because British troops were traveling continuously from Delhi to Agra and Agra to Delhi, Agra to Kolkata, which used to be the capital of that time too. So that's why it was important to have train stations and better connectivity. So this is called Agra Kent. So even today, if you travel to India, flights are not available easily. And that's why the major way, the most important and easiest way to reach here, it's by train. So here you can find again, this is another railway station. This was a French done by a French architect. This is the second railway station called Agra Fort. And here you can see even like this city is so unique that at every nooks and corner you could find a historical building, and that is why you can see even at this train station you can find a beautiful mosque behind it. And this mosque is also one of the biggest mosque, and this mosque was built by the daughter of the emperor who built the Taj Mahal. Again, it's a diagonal picture of the same railway station. And this is nowadays we have started using the electrified lines and electrified engines, but before that there used to be the steam engines. And this is the first glimpse when you enter into the city. On the railway station you are being welcomed like this, like I love Agra. So I love Agra too. Over here, when you reach close to the Taj Mahal, you find this kind of logo. When you are being welcomed with this beautiful logo that I love Agra, so you should also love Agra, as it is the city of love. And here I have chosen this one specifically to give you the idea about this beautiful engine, which is now a heritage, but this is an steam engine. And again, a beautiful Sikh temple, you can find it, which is inspired from the architecture of Taj Mahal. And this is an sprawling view of one of the market in Agra. You can see how crowded it is, even in this COVID time, as India is one of the largest populated country in the world. So that's why you can find these sites much more busier than this most of the time. And again, it's an old market. You can find how busy it is. This picture is being taken soon after the lockdown over, and this is like a picture when there was a lockdown, and you can find the parking next to the shops, and shops are closed. And here you can find it's like a an avenue next to the buildings, and you can find three friends are uh, going for outing, and you can see this elderly man who is sitting and just looking at the kids. And you can find this traditional shop over here which is having some bags and some outfit tunics and some bangles. They are on sale, and like this. And you can find one of the other market, and it's a scene of a monsoon. And here it's very interesting. At every nooks and corner, you can find a temple. So saffron color is dedicated to Hanuman, which is a monkey god, and that is a god dedicated to the power. So in the West, people have Spider-Man and like He-Man. So we wanted to have our own version. So for the power, for the might, there is a god in India which is called Hanuman. Please don't feel offended, but it's kind of a very common thing which people talk about. And this is the offering. Before going to temple, you need to have something from the vendors sitting outside of the temple. So these are the garlands which are being offered to the deities always, and that's why this man is having all these items. And he is also having some sweets which is being distributed when you get back from the temple. At the same time, you have the coconut over here, and you can find these, diyas, which are kind of, homemade candles. And you can see even the sadhus, which are the hermits, they are educated, and he is so involved in reading the newspaper right in the middle of the street, but he want to keep himself updated. Isn't it interesting? But yes, they are having the information of everything, so they like to keep themselves updated. Now in India, because pollution problem is soaring like anything, so these electric cars are also in practice. And why I kept this picture over here, because of the wires. I would like to show you that this kind of wiring, it's not unique. They can be find in any city. And the electricians, they are so good, then they can find that which wire is going to which shop or which house. And you need to have double master's degree to get the idea of it. It is very, very interesting picture, and I deliberately kept this picture to give you the idea that how much people believe in charity in India. It's a charitable kiosk, and it is made out of these thatches. And here specifically, it's a stream of water. So somebody is sitting inside who is providing the water to this thirsty man in this hot. India is very, very hot. Usually the temperature rises very high. And right now the temperature in India is almost like 45 with humidity. We have almost like 7 to 8 months of this extreme heat, and then we get the monsoon. And now this is a beautiful picture of a grandmother and her grandchildren child. And you can find here these are some breads, and at the same time you can see this hearth, and this is kind of an older one which is very, very traditional. And here you can see this is called rickshaw, and this is being pulled by this poor fellow. So people sit in it, and this man who put the pedals, and then people travel for a few kilometers on it. And this is something very, very interesting, very mouth watering, and this is one of the most delicious delicacy called jalebi. It is made out of very fine flour, and then they fry them, and then after frying them for 15 minutes, they soak them into the sugar syrup for another 15 minutes. And after that, when you chew them, it is kind of a burst of sweetness into your mouth, so you cannot stop to yourself until you finish all of them. And I bet you this is something really mouth-watering. And this is an amazing, mouth-watering, sour uh, street food of India. This is puffed baked pastries, and they are like, one piece. But while serving it to you, this man, he would just prick it and put some pieces of potato, some green chili chutneys in it, and then he would fill it with the sour, salty water. And again, you keep that full in your mouth, and then you just burst out with the different taste. And you cannot again stop yourself. It is one of the favorite street food of the ladies of India. If they go for outing, having this is must. If you don't let them do this, then you are not going to sleep peacefully at home. So beware. Now, this is again a street market scene. Here you can find, people are like, people love drinking mango shake. At the same time, there are the bananas and there are the pineapples. India is an amazing country. We are so blessed that we have all kind of fruits available almost throughout the year. And this is something very interesting shop. It is a shop for the betel nut. And this is something, after eating it, your mouth turn completely red. And this man, again, he is frying the puris, and those are stuffed, kind of stuffed patties, and they are being eaten with some kind of like sabzi, and that is very very interesting, and sometimes very very like tingy. At the same time, you can see the jalebi again, and this is how this thing is being served. And the kachoris are served this way. So you have this kind of like something to eat with, and you have yogurt in it, and you have this kind of dish to have it with. And this is the king of the deserts of India. So it has so many beautiful colors in it, and this is again being soaked into. It's made out of condensed milk, so again it's being fried. Yes, you would be surprised that most of the things in India, they are fried, and it is soaked into the sugar syrup. So again, when you it is so tender, you just put it into your mouth, and it becomes so like mouth watering. And this is again a very unique like dessert of India. This is called laddu. It is again fried, and it has a little bit less sugar in it, but you can have it. This is also very interesting dessert from India, and this is called anarseki goli. It has sesame seed all around it, and this is very typical to the city of Agra. This is having cream over it, and this is made out of condensed milk. Again, it is fried, and then like beautiful, like what you call this condensed milk is being applied on it, and it is again very very sweet. In India, people use lots of sweets so that you become much more sweeter. So it is a sweet shop. You can see over here different kind of sweets. Again, this morning breakfast, this is called kachori and jalebi there next to it. And this is a view of the market. And here, different kind of kachoris you can see. And this is another shop. And this is kind of a food seller. Also, it's a grocer who is having okra over here. This is turnip, and this is like a raw mango and gourd, different kind of capsicum. Like here, you can find the eggplant, and not only in China, but in India, people love noodles. So this is called Chow Mein, which is very famous among the youngsters. And this is also kind of a patty. And this is a sugarcane juice. In summer, people love having it. And again, kachori. And this is also another interesting dish. And this is having like lentils, and it is having like rice and mutton in it. People love having it. This man is preparing bread, but it is frying it, and it's kind of a stuffed bread. And after preparing it, it seems like this. So these are the different dishes, and now it is a horse carriage. We are very close to our destination. So next to the Taj Mahal, which is our destination, and we are going to talk about it very, very soon. So, vehicles which pollutes are not allowed. So, only the traditional vehicles or non-polluting means electrical vehicles are allowed. So, this is an alley, an area close to Taj Mahal, and you can see how colorful it is. And here you can find the crows. It is very interesting. People put millet on the walls, so the pigeon and mynas and all the birds they come and then they eat. Over here you can see this street goes to the fort, and on the left side you can when you would visit Agra, then definitely you would see the Taj Mahal on the left side. And government of India is paying much more attention on the cleanliness. So you can find a sweeper who is using a big broom to clean it off. And those are the different idols. Those are the different god and goddesses which is being carved manually by the artisans. You can find next to the gods there is a man who is ready to sell his items of offering, and this is the traditional walkway next to the Taj Mahal. You can see the area is too old, but at the same time you can see their conditioner. So there are some interesting facts. You can find the monkeys here too, and monkeys are someone like something which is very, very common around the Taj Mahal, and you can find the monkeys everywhere. And it's an old building, and this area also a little bit far away from the Taj Mahal, but most of the industries and the factories were closed, and it used to be a factory which is being closed now. And the beautiful carving work can be seen on every inch of the wall, and you can see this is all being done manually. And this is something very interesting. This is laundry. So this is the river. Next to it, Taj Mahal is located. But the washermen they bring the sheets and then they do the laundering over here. Another shop, and you can see this lorry which was full of these goats, and you can see the goats are everywhere. People are buying and selling them, and there is a festival of sacrifice for the Muslim, which are around 20% of the population. So these days, they are the very recent pictures. People are buying and selling them. You can find them everywhere. So somebody is taking the garbage on this van, and this is another sweet shop, and this is a gas station, and gas prices are soaring like anything in India. So it's a major concern. It's almost like highest in all over the world. And another sweet shop, and here you can find it's another restaurant, street food restaurant. You can find here the chickens, and even the kids cannot stop themselves by patting and caring the goats. And this is the most important and the most traditional a delicacy of the town. This is called biryani. It is made out of rice and mutton. And this is a bakery shop, and this is another street food. You can see this young boy who loves holding this hand in his hand. People still do this. This is an old building. You can see different angles of it, and this is a shop of beautiful items which are basically copied from the styles of Taj Mahal. You can find every beautiful panel is like this. We will do another documentary on this, and we would love to have you in that too. So these are the different shops, and this is the mosque which we saw when I was showing you that railway station. And like somebody is having this big goat. It is also for sacrifice. Some people may not like it, but it's a tradition. We cannot change it. So that is why. And this is a traditional welcoming food when people are having, guests. They offer this kind of food to them, and this is, like a vendor who is not on his cart, and it is for papaya and bananas. And sometime in summer water could be a problem, so this lady, she is bringing water from so far. So this is another food, and you can find, traditionally people have the food together, so they sit on the floor and they have all this kind of items on their food table. A young girl bringing water on her head, and she is bringing it for herself. So it is like not child labor, but the girl is happy. And this is a traditional entrance of a house, and this is this picture is of my nephews, so you can see they are waiting to get an order to start having this food, so they are eager. So this is another traditional dish, and you can find the old people sometimes they dress like this. They have big mustaches, they have big turban there on head, and they wear this kind of covering on their lower part of the body. So this is very, very traditional what they like to do. And this is something which is very, very traditional and common over here. So this is uh, like like a tradition and having this kind of what you see here, this kind of patterns on their houses. If you see all around it, there are the beautiful patterns. So you see them. This is very, very unique to this place. So people decorate their houses, and this house is very, very old. But this old man, he is he is doing it with full who is wearing this beautiful color on his turban and the beautiful mustaches. He is full of energy. Yeah, now you can see this street, and this is another market. This is the back view of the back view of that mosque we saw. Somebody who is tailoring over here, and this is a man who is playing traditional music. And this is like clock tower of the city of Agra. And here you can see this man who is preparing these kind of kebabs and jalebis again. And yeah, the lady with the big broom, she is at the monument for cleaning it. And here we are at our destination, and you can see the Taj Mahal through this beautiful screen. And you can find here the bird's eye view of Taj Mahal. So you can notice how beautiful and big the building is, and the area and the complex is so huge that you enter from where my cursor is, and then you reach exactly at this point, and then you make an entry. This is so perfectly designed. It is so perfect that it should have been the Garden of the Paradise. The emperor who built it, he had a vision that he wanted that it should have been the Garden of the Paradise where his beloved wife she is sleeping in peace for her life hereafter. So they believed in the life and the life hereafter. There was no death. So she is in the garden of the paradise even soon after her earthly life. So this is how people enter through this beautiful gate, and this aerial view, it's amazing. At the same time, you can find two adjacent buildings which are mirroring each other, and just because they are mirroring each other, it's hard to compare. Also, it's hard to find like what are those. But on the left one, this is a mosque which is facing towards Mecca. As being a Muslim, you need to bow down towards Mecca, and that's why it's on the left side. And on the right side, there this building is basically the copy of it, and this is the entrance gate to the paradise. And this is a diagonal view. I have taken this picture to give you the idea. This is a British painting, which was basically the inspiration for them to build this kind of beautiful gate, because Taj Mahal is a mixture of 10 contemporary buildings of that time. The building was built by an emperor whose name was Shah Jahan. It's a Persian name which means king of the world. So after getting inside of it, you would realize that only king of the world could do that. This beautiful workmanship which you see all around the facade, this seems like being painted, but it is not. It's a beautiful work which is called marble inlay. So the artisans were invited from all over the world to do this, and it is believed those beautiful floral patterns were the gemstones which were unfortunately plundered during the time of the mutiny against the British Empire. So this is how when you enter into the Taj Mahal, and this beautiful arcuate view makes this building perfect and amazing. And you can see how good they were in the mathematics and in architectural science, that they knew how to shape it so that it it should fit perfectly into it. Sorry. So on a crowded day, and on a crowded day, it's like this. It's really hard to take a picture. But when it is less busy, like these days, you can get a beautiful picture. Now this is a sidewalk. When you enter exactly, so when you enter from that side, like you enter from this way, and then you reach to this point, and this side where my cursor is, and on the right side, this is a gallery, and you can see how big it is, how lengthy it is. And now we are on the Taj Mahal is on our back side, and now we are looking at the other side of this royal gate. And this is another picture of this royal gate. I have taken so many different pictures to give you the perfect idea of it. Now, this is a picture which was taken at the time of Mr. Donald Trump, the US president, the ex US president who visited. So they put the beautiful flowers. We usually don't have many flowers at the Taj Mahal because of the monkeys, and you can find them everywhere. So, not only us, but these animals, the monkeys, which are rhesus macaque, they also love visiting Taj Mahal. And you can find the whole family of them. It's almost like whole pack of them, and they are so naughty. Sometimes they try to snatch the food from you, but the good thing is it's not allowed to bring anything inside the Taj Mahal. So usually the visit of Taj Mahal takes around an hour and a half, but at that time you are allowed only to bring a bottle of water, nothing else. And that's why it's hard for them to be in the big number. But in the rest of the city, there are so many. Even at my home, there are so many. They just keep banging everywhere. So this is a picture, and in this picture you can see two different pictures of the royal gate, and this is a newer one which is being taken recently, and this is so long ago, and you can find the cypresses are so tall, and even in the water canal you could find, here there are no water, but here you could find the water lilies. And this is a sidewalk again, and this is a picture taking from the riverside, and this is a picture, it's being taken when we basically about to enter into the Taj Mahal. This is from the side where the mosque is, and this is a picture taken from the other side of the river. So this is a different side, and like you can see here, there is a river, and then next to it, this is the garden area, and from the garden you could see it as well. So this is the front view of the Taj Mahal. So isn't it awesome? It is so perfectly designed. It is so beautiful that only this kind of perfection can be achieved in the paradise. So Emperor, he was so much in love with his wife that he created this. Imagine the toil of the man who was so much in love with his wife that he wanted to witness when his wife would wake up on the day of resurrection. Then she would find herself over here at this beautiful monument, and she would find herself where I am. So then, next to her, when he himself would wake up, he would tell her that, my love, when you were not with me, I was creating this beautiful paradise for you. Imagine what she would think. So this Taj Mahal, it's surprisingly a graveyard, and exactly where my cursor is, there are two graves exactly aligning to this line of the fountains. There is a grave which is the tomb of the queen, and next to it, there is a tomb of the emperor. He was also added into it. We are reaching there. Now I have added this picture to give you the better idea how it would have looked. They used to be like jungle of the trees, but those all were citrus trees, because into the Garden of Eden it is described that there would be the citrus trees. And this is a picture of Taj Mahal from the other side of the river. Now this is an arcoid view. A picture is being taken at a very perfect moment when the sun was exactly behind this tower. And this is a picture taken from the garden side, and when we are about to enter into it, and the bottom of the Taj Mahal also having Like we are talking about this place over here. This part can be seen over here. So there are the beautiful screens, and it's almost like, 5-story building according to their standards. But as per our standards, this building is around 25-story of today's standard. And now you can see this is a sparkling view of the stones, gemstones, which were inlaid on the facade. And at the time of evening or at the time of the morning, when the sun rises or the sun sets at a perfect angle, the stone starts glittering like anything. Now here you can see like towers, which are so beautifully done. This is a picture at the time of the sunset, and here you can find the beautiful uh, calligraphy as well as this beautiful marble inlay work. Over here, you can find again a different angle of it. And this is Quranic inscription. The letters are not painted, they are inlaid deeper than an inch. Now, this is the inside view of the main building. Here in the center, you can find just underneath the chandelier, this is the tomb of the queen. And on the left side, the bigger one that is of him. And the whole complex was just for her. He was added later. He was not in the plan, but he was added. You can see how much ornated it is, how beautifully it is carved out. Every inch, every color, every detail which you see here and there, even on the wall, even on the facade, even in this writing or on this screen, nothing is being painted literally. Those all are the gemstones, precious and semi precious, which are inlaid perfectly into it. And can you imagine on the white marble? It's a painstaking work. They have to dig it out. Like they have to dig it out the cavities perfectly and precisely, and then they have to shape the petals one by one, and then they fix them into the deep cavity. Over here you can see this is the entrance from the front. I have taken it specifically for you because nowadays it is not allowed to reach in this part. It is closed for the public because of the security reasons as well as for the sanctity of the tombs. You can see the floor plan was just for her, like here on the borders, you can see. But his tomb is overlapping the floor plan. It means it shows that he was added later as he was not in the plan. Even nowadays, it is not allowed to go inside, but we have taken this picture because this part gets open only for 3 days in a year. And luckily, we got a chance to take this picture for you. So, all those beautiful flowers all around it are the gemstones, and 99 names of the Almighty God are being written all around it so that this area should be protected from the evil's eye and they could get more and more blessings on the departed soul. And you can see those beautiful flowers. This is, the screen which is running all around it. And this is a beautiful flower which is Turk's cap lily. And this particular flower got 84 beautiful petals in it. And this fine white line in between, that is mother of pearl, which is being shaped individually. And the same flower which you see here with the touch of light, this is made out of a very unique stone. This is called cornelian. With the touch of light, it starts sparkling, it glitters, and it is translucent. Not any other one, not green, not blue, only this one. This whole piece also made out of 84 pieces. And this is the screen all around it. You can find the same flower over here too. They appear being painted, but no, if they would be painted, they must have been disappeared. So that's why I told you those are all the gemstones. Now, this is an aerial view of Taj Mahal. I have taken this for a very special purpose to let you know the idea that this Taj Mahal is uniquely done and it has got a very special dome which no other monument in the world is having. This dome is not an ordinary dome. This is very heavy. This is surmounted on a cylindrical neck. So this is double dome. So there is a cylindrical neck and this dome is hollow from inside, and that's the beauty of this. And this is having around 12,000 ton of weight in it. Can you imagine 12,000 ton of weight? And four towers all around it are giving a support to this heavy building because this is exactly located on the river bank, and surprisingly it is not sinking into it. from last 400 years. And this is the concept of the double dome. You can see this over here. There is the gate to enter into it. So that is the beauty, that the dome is hollow from inside and people can go inside of it. And here you can see this beautiful dome, and this dome is very special and very huge. And these two birds kind of creature, who are they? They are the people, and it is so huge. You can get the complete idea that how big it must have been, that those are the two people standing on the top of it. This is an Egyptian bald vulture who's sitting over there. This is a picture of the Taj Mahal from the other side of the river, and those are the subsidiary buildings next to it. And this is a diagonal picture taken at the side of the wall, and this is showing the tower and the river, and also the view of the mosque. And this is the view of the building from the Moonlight Garden. So you can see the complete building from the back side of it. So this dry area is basically a river. In monsoon, it gets full. And this is an arcuate view of this beautiful building. Different light plays with the marble, and building looks different in every different, like a time. It looks different. It's a misty, like morning, and it looks like something is floating into the water, or something emerging from the heaven. Now, this is the plan of the Taj Mahal. What we saw, it is this area, but there are the bottoms, and also over here, this is the hollow part, which is the dome part. And over here, you can see this is the region which is taking us to down below where the actual tombs are. Just above, we saw the cenotaphs. The graves are underneath. And this is the plan of the whole building, the whole area. We technically enter from this side. We reach here. This is the royal gate. There are the four water canals in all four sides, and those are considered like the streams of the paradise. One of them was considered like milk, nectar, honey, and wine, and the Garden of Eden in all four sides of it. And here in the center, a palace made out of pearl into the paradise dedicated to the Lady of the Taj. This is a rough sketch which is being prepared by me, so this shows the dimension of the entire complex. So the whole area, like from this point to this is around 560 meters, and you can see this is the garden area, and the all four sides of the building. This is irregular octagon, but the plinth, the platform is around 96 meter on all four sides, and each diagonal side of the building is around 1 point, like 156 meter. And this is a location, again the same point I told you about, the riverside. And from here you can see this is how it looks at the time of the monsoon. And this is an arcuate view of the Taj Mahal from the other side, where there is a jungle, but there used to be beautiful buildings. And through this beautiful arch, this picture is being taken. Yes, it is being photoshopped, but it has a beautiful view of the Taj Mahal. Whenever you plan to visit this monument of love with girl travel, so we would love to show you all these angles. And yeah, this is an amazing view of the Taj Mahal through the river. It is not allowed these days to go by the boat and do a boating and get a picture done there. But yes, after the special permission, you can do this. And this is an amazing, amazing view because you can see the reflection of the building into the river. Now, this is also a different angle of the Taj Mahal. And these are the two same pictures almost, but this shows how building looks different at every different light. Like, when the sky is blue, the building looks different. And when it is the time of the sunrise and it is overcasted, it looks completely different. So that is the beauty of this amazing monument of love. The sad part of this story, this monument was started when the lady of the Taj, she passed away. So she herself could not see it. She died young. She died 39 while delivering her 14th child, and luckily the daughter survived, but not the poor mother. On her deathbed, she asked him some promises to the emperor that you should not marry again and build something like this for me so that mankind should witness our love story. So he never married again, and he devoted his whole life to do this, and he created this for her. And this is it. This is the flag of India. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it. And this is the story of Taj Mahal. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Imran. Why don't you bring yourself back on video so that we can see you? So when we do our Q&A, people can see your face so that they know who's answering. So we got a lot of questions while we were going through the presentation. I'd like to go over a few of them with you and maybe get you to answer them. And obviously, if I'm asking you things that you don't know the answers to, just let us know that as well. But there were many questions asked about the gold. How do you protect the gold in the cities, and what is the significance of the gold? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Definitely, gold is something very fascinating. Still in India, India is one of the largest importer of the gold because of the love of Indians towards this yellow metal. The thing is, in India, gold is considered like the best investment. At the same time, it can be used in the ornament, and also it is a best investment because of the best appreciation. It is a recorded thing, and it's a recorded fact that gold never, never disrespect its owner. It is always being appreciated over the time. Value increases always. That's why Indians love this yellow metal. But in the West, platinum is more popular, like white metal, less colors. But in India, people love it. So even in the olden time, when no currency was available, people used to convert their money into the gold, and that's why it is being handed over generation to generation. And as it those are the religious sites, that is why those are protected easily. But at the Taj Mahal, every spike you see, like if you could see the spike at the Taj Mahal, the main spike, the main finial at the main dome, that is very very tall in its origin and its formation. It is around 33 feet, around 10 meters, and it is believed that it used to be like a half a ton of gold. Can you imagine? Half a ton of gold was there. It's a recorded history. Whatever the facts I have mentioned you, those are the recorded history, recorded fact, that there used to be almost like half a ton of gold. But unfortunately, at the time of the mutiny against the British Empire, there was a political anarchy. And at that time, all that gold was plundered. And I am sorry to say to my British guests, but it happened during the British rule, which is a recorded fact. I'm not trying to blame anybody. It is also a fact that the British, they helped in the conservation of the building a lot. The spike and the finial, which you see now on the top of the main dome, this is being replaced during the British rule, and now it is made out of alloy.
Awesome. Okay, so let's jump over to the Holi festivals and the color. Let's talk a little bit about the color. Does the color have any symbolic meaning? One, I'm going to give you a few questions and then you could just talk about it. Does the color have symbolic meaning? What is the material that the color is made of? Does it stick on you? Does it stain you? Is it religious in nature? Talk a little bit more about the color and bring us some deeper understanding.
Definitely, I would love to. See, earlier they used to be like the crush of the petals, and the color used to be herbal. But nowadays, all the colors they are they are artificial, and they really stick on yourself, like on your body. So before playing and jumping into this color festival of color, we always advise people to soak themselves into enough oil. So it is advised always to apply lots of oil on your skin so that the color does not stick on your skin. Otherwise, you would need at least 15 to 20 days, at least 2 weeks, to keep rubbing yourself to get rid of that color. And nowadays, this is all chemical, but earlier that used to be color. And sometime when, some time ago, when people were not agree to use the chemical color, they were using they were making colors out of petals of the flower. And some of the places they play holy with the flower petals of different colors.
Now I understand that they use cornstarch in the color. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the Taj Mahal in general. I don't know if this was missed by some, but there were a lot of questions about when was it built? How long did it take for it to be built? Was it built for one particular king? And who built it?
A very good question. Yeah, as it got so lengthy and different topics were involved in it, so I might have missed them. So I would really like to bring them into the notice of my audience. Yes, Taj Mahal was built by a man who was an emperor of whole India. When I say in India, it means the same extent of the boundaries which you can see nowadays, except the down south. And he was the richest man on earth. During his reign, India was considered like the golden bird. The economy of the world was rotating around India and China. And can you imagine in 1526, when the Mughals were in the power, they ruled this country for 300 years. The man who built the Taj Mahal, his name was Shah Jahan. It's a Persian word that means king of the world. So, after watching Taj Mahal, you can literally realize that only the king of the world could do that, and he did that for his wife. So, he started doing it in 1631. It took 22 years to finish this, and almost like 4 million US dollars they spent at that time to finish that. And this is something very very special because this does not include the value of the gold and the gemstones were used in it. Artisans were invited from all over the world, not only Indians, but from Central Asia, from Bukhara, from Samarkand, from Florence, from Venice, from Turkey. The main architect of this building was from Turkey. His name was Master Ahmed. And that man, he was having his legacy with Hagia Sophia in Istanbul. You must have heard about that, or the Blue Mosque. He was from the same family who built the Blue Mosque, and that's why he had a vision, he had an idea how to do this. But Emperor wanted that it should be one of its kind, one of the most unique monument on earth. That's why he decided to do it this way. He decided to build it exactly on the river bank so that nothing obstructs the view from the front. When you see it, you don't see anything behind of it except the sky. So that gives you a feel that something emerging from the heaven. So that was kind of a brief idea of it. And the lady of the Taj, she was his third wife. The emperor, he already had two wives when he met her. But the first two marriages were the diplomatic marriages, and unfortunately, he got no children from the first two wives. But from this third wife, he got an heir for the throne. Not only an heir, she bore him 14 babies. And literally, that's why she deserved that.
Do you,
So
oh, sorry.
please, please.
Do you know, is there a documented value of the building and all of its contents at this point?
Unfortunately, not,
Mhm.
because the department who is upkeeping it, they only rely on the documents available at the time of the British era. And the British, they really did an amazing job in preserving and in the maintenance of it and in the upkeeping of the building. It is very surprising that in 1931, a department was established which is called Archaeological Survey of India, and that is still responsible for upkeeping the building.
Is it difficult to get into the Taj Mahal at this point as a tourist?
Luckily not.
Mhm.
There was the building got closed. This was the longest period like anywhere else in the world. when the building was not accessible for the people. But now, luckily, it is open. But the big problem is the visas. The visas are not open yet. But we are getting mails and phone calls from all over the world. People are dying to visit this amazing monument, and it's one of the seven wonder of the world. And we believe that it is the number one. And I bet you that as soon the visa gets open and we would be able to travel, people would flock into it. And I would like to give this message through Gulf Travel to all of my audience that you can have an amazing opportunity by traveling with Gulf Travel to visit this monument of love. And we
We'll
would
come,
love to
we'll,
welcome you.
we'll come and see you, Imran, when we come. We will make sure that you show us the Taj Mahal. Let's talk
Definitely.
a little bit about the brides and the henna. Are the specific designs meaningful, or are they just decorative? And tell us a little bit more about that.
See, they are the creative part, and they could be of any design. It is always imaginary. Nowadays, every bride wants to have a unique design, and they try to do it all the way up to their arm and all the way up to their knees, and they just fall in love doing it. And it is very, very cultural, very traditional. Not only the brides, but every young girl likes to get it done on her body most of the time on every traditional day, or at any what do you call, or at any festival like Diwali or Eid, or at any festival they like to get it done. And the colors are very, very important. As I mentioned you, as it gets darker, so it means that your husband would fall in love with you. So this used to be, I'm not sure whether this happens or not, but nowadays there are the chemicals. If you add those chemicals in henna, they could be darker. So
Hmm.
there is a solution of every problem in this modern world.
Right. Before I go to the next question, I just want to interject by saying thanks everybody for coming, but we're not done yet. We're going to keep going on the Q&A. But if you would like to send a tip, I have a slide up. We do accept all different types of payment options. So please know that that is available to you. I will also send out a follow-up email tomorrow with links so that you can access the recording as well as provide a tip if you wish. And just so you know that before we get going into more questions, let's go into the access of Agra. So how far is Agra from a city that has a plane, and can you only access it by train, or how would you get to the Taj Mahal if you were a tourist?
Okay. The closest airport to Agra city is New Delhi, which is like almost 2.5 hours drive from here. We are having an amazing highway. It is newly built, which is a world-class highway, which is connecting us to Delhi just in 2.5 hours with a good car. And that is the best way to reach. But those who like to experience the Indian train, they have two options. They can like board on to the train which runs in the morning, and soon after that there is another train, and those two are the fastest trains in the country, and you can just get into the city just in an hour train ride. So both of
Okay.
them are of 60 minutes ride, but after that, there is lots of technicality. So we advise you to hire a taxi or a cab from the airport.
Okay. So one guest is asking about the tuk-tuks. So is that a typical way for people in India to get around, or is that just a tourist vehicle? And do you pay per ride? Do you have passes? How do you do it? How do locals use those vehicles as opposed to tourists?
See, tuk-tuks become more popular among the tourists later, but it used to be the mean of the mass transport earlier. They used to be diesel powered, but as they were causing lots of pollution, they were converted into compressed natural gas. So now government is outdating them, so that they nowadays they are also causing a traffic jam into the city. So they won't be much touristic, but now they are turned very much tourist attraction, and the tourists can commute from one monument to another like the short rides. So they are the ride of like 2-3 miles from one point to another, and it depends. You can hire the whole tuk-tuk, or you can have it on the sharing basis as well, which is very cheap.
Hmm.
Both of the things are very cheap, like both of the means are very cheap,
Uh,
but they are for the short ride.
Imran, what does Taj Mahal mean in English?
It's a very good question. Taj Mahal, basically, it was not the real name of Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal, it's a name which was given to this building at the British period. The real name was Rawza-e Munawwara. It's a Persian word. You know, the lady of the Taj, she was from the Persian origin. So that means she was like, even the court language in their era was Persian. Even nowadays, most of the court chronicles of their era, they are in Persian. So in Persian, the real name of the building was Rawza-e Munawwara. That means a sacred mausoleum, an illumined sacred mausoleum. But for the British, it was very difficult to pronounce this word Rawza-e Munawwara. So they copied this name from the name of the lady of the Taj. Her name was Mumtaz. So from her name Mumtaz, this Taj was derived, and Mahal means the palace. So Taj Mahal literally means crown palace. But in my like as far as I consider, I think it is not the crown palace. I consider it is the crown of the all palaces in the entire world.
Sure. I think you have a very good point. Let's see. So let's talk about the monkeys. There was a lot of conversation in the chat about the monkeys. Are
Yeah.
monkeys sort of like stray animals? Are they like squirrels to us? Or do they roam free all over India? Do people have them as pets? Tell us a little bit more. Are they sacred in any way? Do they mean anything? Or are they just monkeys?
Yeah, see, they are like the wild animal. But the thing is, I told you, in India, there are more than 330 million god and goddesses. So out of them, one of the very famous god is a monkey god who helped the main god of India, whose name is Rama, to help his wife getting back from the demon king of Sri Lanka. So that is why, he was like a true follower of the main god Rama. So that is why he is being worshipped. So it is considered that these monkeys are like the incarnation of Hanuman, the god of might. So that is why they are sacred. They cannot be killed. But nowadays, they used to be wild, but now they are very much domesticated. But the problem with them is, as because of the urbanization, their natural inhabitant area is decreasing day by day. So now they are coming to the cities, and they are everywhere. Even at my roof, where I'm sitting right now, there would be 2 or 3 families of them. So, like, we cannot get rid of them. So, I get a cage built for me, not for them. So, I am in the cage and they are roaming free. So that's the monkey's story. And in search of food, they come to the areas where the people live, where the grocery markets are, where the grocers are, so they can get the vegetables and food, and they snatch everything. So when we dry our clothes, even, it's really hard to keep your dry clothes safe, because they love chewing the buttons of the shirts and the t-shirts.
Wow. So in the
Yeah,
United States, we have a movement to control stray cats by catching them, neutering them, and releasing them. Is there
yeah.
some type of effort like that with monkeys in India?
You're right. This kind of effort were conducted, and people asked to do so, but the religious sentiments created like a hurdle to go on and to apply those practices. So,
Mhm.
and government is busy in many other things, so they never pay much attention on this kind of problems. That's a
Sure.
big, yeah, challenge.
Can we talk a little bit about tourism, the weather, and what times of year are the best in terms of weather and crowds to visit Agra and the Taj Mahal?
You're right. It's really a very good question, and Taj Mahal used to be the destination of the masses from the very beginning, and almost the time when Taj Mahal opened for the public from last century. So people love to come to Taj Mahal, and we get the travelers and the visitors almost all around the year. But the best time to visit Taj Mahal is considered winter, and winter is considered from you could call that from October to end of April is considered good time, but the best time is from October to March. And after March, it starts getting warmer, and it may rise to like in the month of April, the temperature start rising. So it may be like 105, 107. And then, in the month of May and June, and then in the early July, it could be like 110, 115 as well. So, but even in that extreme heat, people visit Taj Mahal, but not as much as many as they come in winter. So usually October to March is the best time, but it can be extended till April.
Hmm.
And
Okay, great.
avoid coming on the weekends because weekends are crazily busy. And it is always advised to all of our viewers that never ever try to do this thing by your own, because in rest of the world you can easily navigate, you can handle the situation by your own. But when you are in the northern part of India, it is very technical, it is so bureaucratic, it is so complex that you will spend your whole time in figuring it out by yourself, which would be impossible. So your precious time of enjoyment you would spend only in figuring it out the thing. So we would request you to contact some of the reliable tour operators like the Gulf Travel, those who are having the experience in this kind of field trips. They they can give you the best solution so that you can get the value of your time and money.
Well, you know that I am a very big advocate for tour guides, and I believe that you get so much more out of a visit of a location when you have a guide, whether it's a local guide, a tour director, or any person with an education that can share with you some in-depth knowledge. I just started traveling again in the last month, and I can tell you that the days that we took organized tours were by far the better days for us because we learned and experienced and got so much more out of those days of exploring. So I completely agree with you there. Let's talk about a topic that's probably sensitive to some, but has come up. We noticed in the photos that there aren't a lot of women, and certainly women on their own. So is it advised that women do not travel solo within India? And is it advised to always be with males when women are traveling? Can you talk a little bit about that?
You mean like those who are traveling from abroad to India?
One, solo travelers.
Okay.
Is it safe for women to travel? Should women travel with males when they travel? So give us a little bit of background about that.
I get it. See, the bad happenings can take place anywhere in the world. So India is not an exception. Yes, some bad things happened in the past. We are really sorry for that. But India is really safe in terms of everything. But it is advised that you should take some precautions, like not going to on a lonely street in the dark hours, and staying at a busy place, or if you are in a hotel, or if you are with any certified person, there is no problem. The problem only starts when you start contacting the people, those who are having no credibility. But when you are in touch of the licensed people, either they are the cab drivers or the tour guides or the hotel personals or the concierge, or if you are with any government official, there is no problem. And there is no problem with the general people as well. Most of the people are so generous. They always love to talk to the foreigners, especially when they are women. They might be attracted because of the complexion, because of the color. But the thing is, like the thing is why they would like to do it, because of the same reason, that they like to improve their English. But it is completely safe. There is no need to be worried about.
Okay, I think we're going to get to our last question, which is going to bring us back to the Taj Mahal. We're going to talk a little bit more about the architecture. If you could give us a little bit more insight about the dome creation, how the building happened, what the materials were, and if they were significant. If you can round us out with that information, then I think that will give us a good understanding of the Taj.
Perfect. The thing is, this building is uniquely done. It is the foundation is being done in a very unique way. Something like when you are building something on the river bank, you need to be very, very careful. So they dug it out all the way up to 14 meters. Can you imagine 14 meters all the way up to the riverbed? And then they did the piling. And there were more than 80 wells. They were interconnected, and then they filled all those wells with a very special kind of wood and then brick masonry. So they're kind of planks. So when it gets moisture from the river, the planks, the wooden planks, they get fluffy. So if there would be any earthquake on the bottom, this could have these could have absorbed all those jerks. So even in the modern world, engineers are using the same technique. uh, this is called base isolation. So they have done it that way. Also, the dome was done in a very unique manner. They carried this. Ooh, wait,
You're all right. You're
wait.
okay. I can hear you. Oh, I think we lost Imran. Well, you know what that means, right? This has happened to us before, and that means that our tour is coming to an end. So I want to thank everybody for joining us today. And I want to thank Imran, even though he is not here physically in spirit. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. And we'll see you again next week.